Welcome to the Event Management and Risk Mitigation module for new student organization training. Let's take a look at health, wellness, and safety from a 30,000-foot level. In this module, we will talk about risk management process, identifying 5 types of risk, assessing risks, but we won't do the case study. Risk management is a process. We want to identify, we want to assess, address, implement, evaluate, and then start that process again. Types of risk. The first being physical. As a new organization, you want to be able to assess all risk. So let's start with physical. That is a bodily injury that occurs due to the participation in an event. When you think about planning your events, think about, is this a risk that could come up? The next is reputational. Incidents that result in negative publicity for all parties involved. Again, as you think about all the things that you're going to be doing as an organization, is there reputational risk to that particular thing that you plan on doing? Emotional. Feelings of marginalization, discrimination, or trauma due to the content or the nature of the event. Is there going to be some sort of harm done to the emotional state of a person due to the thing that your organization is doing? That's something that you need to be able to evaluate and assess as a part of your risk assessment. Financial. Payments made that may impact the financial stability of the involved parties. Financial risk is real, and we want to make sure that as you move and scale your organization and grow your organization, that you're doing things that make sense financially for your organization. And then damage to facilities or surrounding environment, poor space upkeep, lack of space, or inclement weather would be identified as an environmental risk. So is something that you're going to do, whether it be your meeting, an event, anything, will it cause any damage to Duke facilities or the surrounding environment? Thinking about the Durham community, things of that nature. That would be an environmental risk. The steps to take as you think about your risk assessment. List all activities associated with an event. Identify the risks that are associated with each event. So once you list them, identify those risks based on those 5 types of risks that we just talked about. Evaluate each activity using the risk matrix that we will see in a little bit. Identify potential solutions to manage the risk. Reassess the risk associated with each activity, and determine if an acceptable level of risk exists. So this is the risk matrix, and it kind of allows you to see based on the probability and the impact of whether you should do something or not, right? Like what is the level of imminent danger to low danger that could be there? Like there's an imminent risk or a low risk for your event. So as you can see, the impact is up top, the probability is here on the left side. And then you want to make sure as you think about your event and all the things we talked about in the steps to take right before this, you want to make sure that you're using this risk matrix to think about your assessment of your risk. If the consequence to the event/activity are low medium, your group should be okay to proceed with this event or activity. If the consequence to this event or activity is high, it is advised that you seek additional event planning support, and student involvement and leadership can provide that support for you, or we can get you to the right people that can provide that support. If the consequence to this event or activity is imminent, it is not advised that you hold this event. So if we're in this red section here, we want to go ahead and stay away from things or events or activities that may put us in this imminent section or consequence. Here are some options to manage risk. There's acceptance. For events with low levels of risk, you may consider accepting potential risk. While risk may not be highly impactful, you would still want to have a plan in case an incident occurs. That may include phone numbers for campus police, urgent cares, and submitting an incident report. There's also risk modification. That is changing in the event to reduce the risk, right? So that may include a change in location, the day, the time, addition of advisors, campus staff, or security. That is just you modifying what's happening. Then there's risk transfer, shifting all parts of liability to another party. So that may include hosting the event at a third-party vendor, purchasing additional liability insurance, or requiring participants to sign waivers. That's the transfer of risk from you to someone else. And then there's risk elimination, completely removing parts or all of an activity. So that is essentially exactly what it sounds like. You are completely removing everything from that activity. So regardless of how your organization chooses to manage the risk, the group, the individuals, and or the college may not be completely absolved from a liability should an incident occur. And I think that's an important part for you all to think about and consider. Just because we've done things to manage our risk does not absolve us completely in some cases of liability, should anything occur. Again, here's that list of steps to take as we're thinking about risk. Should you find yourself in the middle of an incident, here are some things you can do in the moment. Assess the situation, call for help, stay calm as best you can, administer aid if necessary, account for all your members to make sure everyone is safe, and report it and support everyone there. Should you find yourself in an incident, here are some good resources for you to know. If need be, you can take a screenshot of these resources. Here's some things that are proximate to campus: DUPD, EMS, student healthcare, the Live Safe app. If you don't have that, surely download that. Your RA on call, RC on call if you live in a residence hall, CAPS, after hour, timely care, all great things proximate to campus. Should you find yourself away from campus and still needing help, obviously call the local PD or EMS, 911. Find an urgent care, the emergency department closest to you. CAP after hours is still available, and timely care. So what are some steps after the event or after an incident happens after an event? You can submit a Duke Reach Care report if you're concerned about the well-being of another student. You can also submit a bias incident report for incidents that may involve bias or hate. Or you can submit a student conduct incident report for incidents that involve a violation of the Duke Community Standard. And then you can find the QR code here to report any of those. If you have any questions about this module, feel free to reach out to the Student Involvement and Leadership Office at leadership@duke.edu. You can also find us in the Bryan Center Suite 101 if you have any questions about anything you found in today's module. Thank you.